Okay, I'm back. This is dried some now. And I'm gonna get over here so you can see a little bit better how you can see the shine on there. That's the glaze or the gloss medium that I use. And each one of these has, you can see a little bit of blue going on. So we've got that done. And just so you can see that I did do stuff over here. It was pretty much more like that. Now it's got some texture and some life to it. Okay, so see if I can get this in here without shutting it off. And I'll carry on. There we go. I think that's about right. Okay, so with that, I just showed you that. I am going to now take a little bit of white. And the reason I'm taking white is because I can build some cooler colors on top of white, as opposed to on top of the blues I got going on, which is going to affect the color of what I'm putting together. So we're going to just take a little bit of white and take this nice brush here, get as much water off of it as I can. Also, just so you know, I keep my paint brushes in water at like all the time. It's like at all times. That way they stay soft and usable. Now, when I do a bigger jellyfish, there's a slightly different technique to it, which I will definitely show in a future episode. But what I'm doing here is getting this white down there. And I'm not going to stop with that as far as the white goes, because now I'm going to just add around the bottom. And I'm going to just kind of smear up with it. I'm not putting a lot down. I'm just, because, I'm not trying to make this heavy. I'm just trying to make sure that as I put the body of my jellyfish together, there's some definition as to where the edges are. Because the trickiness of dealing with a transparent or even semi-transparent object is to make sure it's not invisible. Transparent and invisible are not supposed to be the same thing, yet they can be if you're not careful. Now, I'm going along here and you're going, oh, you're going over all the blue you put down. I'm not really. I am sort of, yes. Yes, agreed. I'm dimming it down a little bit. But in so doing, I'm also adding greater definition to my jellyfish. Now this one's over here in the dark. So it's gonna, it's really in need of this. So we're gonna make the edge of it have its main body fairly well defined. maybe more defined than the others, because it kind of needs to be. I'm going to blend that white there into the darker body of it. What I'm also doing here I'm using a push technique with my brush. If you can see, I'm taking that white and I'm pushing it to the edge. I'm not just painting an edge. Okay, yeah, I'm pulling it this way, yep. But then you saw I was pushing against it. That gets you to, that helps get a good solid definition on the edge of your jellyfish, because you have that clear gloss medium down there and it has an edge to it. So when I'm pushing it up to the edge of that. Okay, so there we go. We got the white down here and a little bit more right there. There we go. Got the white down here. Now, of course, that's got to dry a little bit before I can put anything on it. My next technique in adding my color here is not actually even going to be adding paint. I'm going to take these unique, wonderful acrylic ink brush, ink pens, and then I'm going to add some more to that. However, in the center of each of these, I might have to do a little more painting. And you might ask, well, where do you get your design for the jellyfish? You have and people have, you got pictures, pictures you look at, and no, I don't. I have a memory of things I've seen, and that's really all I need, because my stuff's kind of abstract. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm not trying to make it photo perfect. And in this day and age, there's so many amazing cameras that there's a lot of people who do marine photography, and it's beautiful. I've been at many shows where they've also been and spoken with many of them. I love a lot of the stuff that they do. I mean, that's what I love, their stuff. But heck, if I want it to look like a picture, I might as well just get a camera and go take a picture. Beauty about art, about painting in art. All art's beautiful, but the cool thing about painting is you can create something that you can't see normally. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be, ooh, look at that, looks just like a picture. Well, if I want it to look just like a picture, I'll get it and I'll take a picture. I tend to want it to look a little bit abstract, just like, okay, so here we go. We're going to lift this up and get it off there. So, as you can see, hopefully you can see, I can't tell exactly where that's aimed at. But as you can see, we got, I'm pulling over here. We got some of the white around the edges. You got some of the blue. You got some glaze going on here, the gloss medium. And then this area in the middle is pretty white right now. That is so we can add color to it. But once this white dries. And as you can also see, this doesn't look like a photograph. It is a painting. And that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to capture the mood of the water, of what it's like to be in the water, more so than the exact, this is what it looks like. And there's a difference between seeing something and feeling something. I want this to be a feeling as well as a visual. So we're at this point here. I am going to, since I have a little bit of time, I'm going to check my camera for sure, make sure I'm getting this. But I want to just kind of finish this little area up here. Okay, I think I just adjusted that to be where I want it to be. And with this section, we are going to use paints. Mark's going back into his paint collection here. I'm going to, because we got yellows here, I'm going to keep some yellows in this. Definitely want to keep this kind of a yellowy thing. And I don't know if I can, oh yeah, I can. And this, okay, this is what I want. This is a pearlescent yellow. But we're not going to stick with pearlescent yellow. That's a base for it. I'm going to get crazy here with a little metallic yellow. And one of my favorites, gold. Oh, this is, well, it's amazing how dark that gold looks when it's next to yellow. Okay. Where's my other one? Oh, okay, here's one of my other brushes that I really like. And it is a slash brush, angle brush. And when you roll it, as it rolls very well too, you get a different kind of effect with your roll. Now here, we've got some stuff going on already from the way we poured it. And I am going to accent some of that with this yellow. And I'm going real light because I don't really want to change this. Don't really want to change this a whole lot. Okay. Just wanted to add to it. Adding to, not taking away. I'm going to go with some metallic here to add a little more. See, the cool thing about this brush here is I can also get the very tip of it and get very fine lines with that. I have a friend who I've done work, well, I've created together with, that you know, her doing her things, me doing mine. She's a nail artist. That's one of the things she does is fingernail stuff. She uses some of the tiniest brushes I've ever seen and does a fantastic job with it as well. Very talented. But I guess the point I'm trying to make here is you can do very fine lined work without having to use a tiny, tiny brush. And because of the way I do my stuff, and boy, this is really kind of thick, by having a nice little pointy brush like this, that can also turn into a slash brush. I mean, I can still do it very wide as well. I have that wonderful variety out of one brush of fine lines and thicker lines, not so fine lines. I'm just about done with this side here. I'm just about done with the amount of paint that I poured out for this, which is always good. I don't like feeling like I'm wasting paint. I hate it when all said and done, I have a big glob of paint still left on my palette and nothing to use it on. Or worse, I feel I need to use it and then I end up putting it where I really didn't want to put it. Okay, so I got this going on here with the gold and the yellow and the turquoise for the base of it. All right, so we got that going on. I'm going to add a little something more here. Be careful when you do this at this point. So I want to put enough of this on here that it will blend kind of naturally with the yellows and golds that I just put down there. What I do not want it to do in any way, shape, or form is get outside of this little swath I have. I do not need that to get into the open water. So which is something I struggled with when I was first doing this often. And that's one of the things if you use this style, you'll get more and more accustomed to what you got to do to keep it contained and keep it tamed into what you're trying to do. All right, that pretty much does it for that. That's pretty much what I'm after. It does want to kind of roll that way a little bit, so I'm going to just pop you up here a little bit to make sure we don't get all that running away. Though I didn't use that much, it shouldn't run very far, but I don't want it to not be up here where I need it. I'm actually going to go ahead and put a touch more right here, so just in case I didn't. A touch more there. All right, and that's got to dry. I'm gonna come back. I'll probably add a little more darks here, and I'm not sure what I'm debating putting something really bright out here. Oh, I got a little ant on here. Get off there, little ant. Okay. All right, I guess that's where I'm at for now. Gonna let this. Let's see how dry. It's getting there already. Wow. Oh heck. That white's almost ready to go. Yeah, it's ready to go. Okay, so cool. I'm just going to continue on here. And because we have some pinks and reds down there, I'm also going to do that up here with these little jellyfish. And I'm taking my ink pen here. Well, this is an acrylic ink pen. I don't know if you can use other ink pens on this. I'm trying to stick with acrylic because I know it will not have any kind of a weird reaction. This little ant, there you go, buddy. Get on out of there. You want to be part of my painting. I really don't like it when ants become part of the painting. It makes me feel bad when I finish a painting up and there's a dead ant stuck in the paint. It's like, poor dude. You're not a paint. I didn't really want to use you as part of my painting. You're not one of the mediums I'm using. But the cool thing about these acrylic ink pens is the amazing control you have over it. So like when you're trying to get into something as small and intricate as this is here in these, it's kind of nice to do that. I use that, and there's a lot of reasons why, but the control I have over it is mainly it. So I took a pink to it. Now I'm taking more of a red to it to go on the inside of it. Now, what I really want to do at this point is get more of a fluorescent thing going on there. So I'm going to look through my fluorescents here. If I have a fluorescent sitting here nice and convenient. Of course, I don't have one sitting right here convenient. Okay. This is a neon. It is not a fluorescent, but neon and fluorescent are pretty much the same thing. When you're dealing with a jellyfish, I don't know if you've, anyone who's been in the water and seen them. The cool thing is, I cannot make it happen here, is the movement. When they're sitting there and they're doing this and they're just shining off all these cool neon colors and fluorescent colors, and it's like, whoa. And you think to yourself, that's natural? That's a natural color? Because you don't really think of colors like this neon here as being a natural color. But these guys actually do have some crazy natural color like this, which is also one of the reasons I love doing them. Whereas I won't be using any other neons on this painting. I am using it on each one of these jellyfish. Just to dispel any thoughts y'all have that I use the pen just because I can't do detail with a brush. You're probably right. No. You'll see that there's plenty of detail there. I'm kidding. Okay, so I put way too much out there. And then there needs to be a contrast there between the two. And I'm not really sure what the contrast should be at this point. but there's a lot of dry time that needs to happen right now. So since there's dry time needing to happen, I'm going to take this white, put a glob of white right there in the middle of each one of these jellyfish. Okay, those got to dry before I can come back to it. What I can do at this point is the other cool thing, and then I need white again. I should not have put my white away. Each one of these is going to have little tails coming down, right? Or what the heck are they called? I don't think they're definitely not called tails, but y'all know what I'm getting at. So we're going to just kind of set the stage for it. Because it's see-through, you really kind of want to carry some of this into the body of the jellyfish. You can see, kind of see it through it. Like on this end, we're going to go all the way around it because it's almost, the face is almost directly at us, right? So these little bits of the bottom of the jellyfish are going to be seen through the jellyfish itself, through the body of the jellyfish. So you got to kind of establish that at this point before you move on too much. Otherwise, when it comes time to add to it and add your other layers, you don't have the stuff that you'd be seeing on the bottom side. If that makes any sense. And it should make more sense as we get going here, or as I get through to the end of it. But yeah, we're seeing this, we're going to be able to see all this stuff through the jelly itself. Okay, I got those going on. I said I wasn't going to use any more of this neon, but I am going to use some of it here. It's going to be toned down eventually. It's a little trickier when you're going right above it to try to make sure that you're not destroying your angle. You're not making it look suddenly it's not straight up and down, it's going this way. Yeah. If you're trying to make it to where you're looking pretty much straight onto it, then you're going to have to make it look slightly differently than when if you're getting a side angle. If that makes sense. Okay, I'm almost done here with what I'm trying to do with these jellyfish. What I'm trying to accomplish here. I'm going to put a little bit of this here. Okay, that should be good for now. I think I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to come back with some darker stuff in there as well when I'm done, or when I get back here. I'm going to leave it like this. This really does have to dry. Well, this stuff up here on the top doesn't need it so much, so I am going to put a little glaze in. Here I'm going to go with something a little bit different. Which am I going to use here? We have a clear white glaze that's thinner than the thick glaze we're using. And I want to do that. I want to use this. This is why. This is why we're going with something slightly different here. And okay, let me find what I want to use. I'm going to use this because I want it to be. The reason we're going to do that is because I want these colors that I put in there to leach out into it a little bit. Okay? So like, I do not want to spread this around a lot. You see I'm tapping it down there. Almost dripping it on there. And this gives a slightly different effect than the solid glaze. So when you're doing it, you don't want to really move it too much. You just want these colors to slightly mix in there. Okay. Gonna semi dry it out here with a little bit of clear alcohol. That will help that dry a little faster because it's kind of thick. You don't want to use too much of this alcohol when you do this because you don't want it running all over the place. Basically just did that so that those areas will dry out a little bit faster and we can get back to it sooner. And the alcohol dries things out. There you go. Anyhow, that should do it for a few hours. I'm going to be gone here for a few hours. I'll come back and we'll see what kind of... hold on before I go. One quick thing here. Let's see. There's this one. Yeah, let's use this one. Yeah. Wasn't doing what I wanted to. Yeah, it should be good. Okay. All right. We shall return.